It's really shocking that the government of India uh, suddenly stopped the supply of rice manufactured for the issue of ethanol production. But in the long run, we congratulate the government and compliment the government for taking this E20 program forward, though it's late, but now not too late. So this is a great initiative which will go in a long way to improve the health of the farmers, to reduce the import dependency, positive impact on the pollution part. So every sector will be benefited by this. But the sudden stop of rice by the distilleries will disrupt the entire investment scenario, and government should take up the initiative with the stakeholders, should have the meeting with the stakeholders to find a solution. We also feel that this policy of rice to ethanol is not long-term sustainable, but we have to give greater role to the industry for switching over to other food stocks like mainly the maize. The world, 80% of the ethanol is being manufactured from the maize itself. So taking forward...
Mr. Mittal, got that. That's a very comprehensive, well-rounded picture you've provided. But as a business, now that this has happened, now a transition to other things like maize, etc., will take time. But as of now, what is the implication? What have you seen as an impact to your business and the industry as well?
No, I'm positive about the things, because the government cannot do away with suddenly one fine morning that E220 program is over. So they cannot do that. And as you can say, taking the stakeholders, the investment part, the banking exposure, the farming exposure, every sector is involved. So they cannot do away with the policy. So they have to find out a solution in between to have the food security of rice and other maize stock. Maize switching over to other, you can say, food stock is not...
No, Mr. Mittal, you're saying this is going to be... So what you're suggesting is this could be a temporary measure. But, right, that's what you're saying. So, but if you can quantify what is the... Yeah, even if it is temporary, there will be some impact to the business. That's what I'm trying to understand. Go on, sir.
I think not much. If fair pricing policy is given to other stocks, like that maize, the rate of the maize manufactured ethanol is just 56, which doesn't match the MSP at present. And you see that other rate of this cane juice is 66. I don't foresee that why there is so much of difference between the two, you can say, two types of ethanol when the product is same and used for the same purpose. So once this correction is done, so there will be lesser load on the FCI part, and the at present, which is 100% on the FCI part, will be reduced to a greater extent. So government should immediately come with a fine policy of switching over to others by correcting the price. So it is not a very complicated issue that it will take too long time to switch over the ethanol production from rice to other stocks. So it will be balanced. So 100% cannot be switched over overnight, but some part can be switched over to some extent. And further we have to see that it's not a long-term policy from converting rice to ethanol. But the 2/3 of the world population uses rice. So the government should have taken immediately with the talk with the stakeholders and find out a solution for
like a middle ground.
Okay. Part to the rice and some part to the other food source.
Sure. Got that. We also have Chandra Jain, who's the management of Gulshan Polyols. Now, Gulshan Polyols is one of India's biggest manufacturers of ethanol and biofuel. So we'll get a better sense from him. Mr. Jain, your thoughts, this disruption of ethanol production, what would the impact be for the industry as a whole?
Surely temporarily, yes, but we have to understand why E20 and what is the cause behind it. You know, our Honorable Prime Minister has drawn a policy of energy security, whereas this food security is there, other securities are there, energy security is also there. So E20 is a part of energy security for the country. You know, all countries who import crude have started doing this energy security, making ethanol from rice or maize or whatever the grain they have done it everywhere. So this policy, this program cannot go back. It cannot go back. FCI has disrupted, no doubt. It will give some disruption for some time, but alternatives have to become. And more, at the same time, the ethanol has to come from all places. Damaged food grain, maize, FCI, sugarcane, everywhere. Then only they will be able to achieve their 1,300 crore liter annual
But
ethanol
Mr. Jain?
blending by 25.
Got
If
it.
you stop-
Mr. Jain, sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to understand that this shift to maize from rice, how viable is it? I mean, can the entire production be shifted?
You see, it is only dependent upon the price which the OMCs offer to the ethanol. You see, they have got variable prices. As Mr. Mittal said, I said earlier also, sugarcane juice price is 66, maize price is 56. What is the logic? I fail to understand this logic. Why this cannot be one price? Once the price is given right, yes, everything is possible. It can be shifted, but not overnight. It will need some time. You need 14 million tons of grain, maize to be produced. So we had been saying to the government that you announce the right price so that sowing season is there. Now the maize is a rain-fed crop.
Got it.
It can take over within a due course of time, but not switch over.
Got it. Got it. Mr. Jain, if both of you, Mr. Mittal and Mr. Jain, you first, what percentage of your input is rice, sir, for ethanol?
So far it is 100%. So far it is 100% because they have not given the maize conducive price.
Okay.
They have not given the damaged food grain price properly.
Okay.
I don't know who is doing the pricing. We fail to understand, and I also feel the grain ethanol pricing has been taken as motherly treatment.
Mr. Jain, so in the second quarter, what would be the impact if this were to continue through the second quarter? What would be the impact on your numbers?
You see, it is going to definitely affect it, no doubt, because standalone unit doesn't have any option but to produce ethanol, and ethanol can only be produced with the viable pricing. If so far,
got it.
What happened?
So could you give us some idea about what the impact could be just for the second quarter?
It's too early, sir. It's too early to say anything about it because government is also planning what to do with the ethanol plant, standalone ethanol plant. They are also planning, and everybody is working on it. So let's wait and watch. It's
Got
too
it,
early
Mr.
to
Mittal.
predict
Got it.
anything.
We're running out of time, Mr. Mittal. Same question to you. What percentage is rice?
No, in my case, we will not be having a much of impact as we have a substantial capacity to produce ENA and ethanol. Overseas, you can say both the products. We can produce ethanol and we can produce switch over ENA. So in the meantime, the FCI supplies are disturbed. We'll be move on to ENA, and we have already done it. So we out of the 600 KLP capacity, we can produce 400 KLPD per day of potable alcohol. That's ENA. So we, on our results as a company, will not have much of impact by having some capacity diverted towards from ethanol to ENA. However, we feel that some disruption will be there, but not to that greater impact on the company's results.
All right, gentlemen, thanks a lot for explaining that to us and joining us on CNBC TV18. Appreciate your time here.